Alrighty, welcome everybody. We are here live in what is today sunny San Francisco to give you guys a tour of the Nebia office and what we work on at Nebia. Before we get started, just wanted to remind you guys that we have been working on this. Should probably get out of the middle of the street. We have been working on this for a number of years now, and the company started in Mexico City, where Carlos, one of my co-founders, used to run a really large chain of health clubs. And Mexico City is a city of 20 million people, 8,000 feet above sea level, so you can imagine the effort it took to get water up into the valley. And this started as a father and son project with his dad, who was an octogenarian. He is now 90 years old. And a few years later, and several prototypes I met them. They invited me to their house to take a shower, as the relationship with Nebia often starts. Loved it, and we started working on it together. And 2.5 years ago, we moved to San Francisco and started working out of my apartment. Then we moved into a garage space in the Soma district. And almost a year ago, we moved into this office at 375 Alabama Street, where we are going to give you guys a tour and you'll meet some of the team. So come on in. So this used to be a textile factory, and I would say 2 or 3 decades ago it turned into mostly office space. And there's some other startups. There are design shops and a shower. So this is our entrance. See? And this is our office. First thing you'll notice is our sign. This is real live moss. You can bring the camera in. This is real live moss. And it doesn't really require any watering or excessive light. It's pretty cool. If you pan over this way, our little waiting area, which is generally used as a photo booth or extra meeting space. These pictures are pictures that my dad took. He's a photographer. And over here, we have homage to industrial design history. This is my first laptop, some vintage iPods, and another PowerBook. We get a lot of inspiration from those products, and just generally what's been done in industrial design. These are some photographs of the team. And you can come in here and see these are some special moments that we've had. Thanksgiving celebration, a couple of minutes before we launched on our Kickstarter campaign a year and a half ago, when Wired Magazine and their reporter came and showered in our old office. So just some fun memories. And here you sort of go into the main space. If you look over this way, you can see that about half the team bikes into the office or walks. Makes it super convenient. We have a couple of conference rooms, and we decided to theme the conference rooms after beautiful and inspiring places and experiences of water. And so our bigger conference room is called Cenote, which in Mexico, the Yucatan Peninsula, are these really unbelievable underground aquifers and pools. The next one is onsen, which are Japanese bathhouses. And our showroom is called Therm. Most importantly, here is the product that many of you have already ordered and will be receiving. If you haven't yet, now is a good time to do it. We are increasing the price starting tomorrow. So this is the main unit and shower system. See, it's super light. Just mounts on the wall like that. We'll show you guys what the install looks like in a little bit. This is the hand shower, the wand, with the magnetic connection. And in here, this little box of goodies, are several things. First, a few pieces of literature. So a quick start guide, setup guide, and a brand book. So we put a lot of thought into this. We wanted to communicate to our customers the reason why we're working on this, why water is an important issue, the savings for your home, and then how the product is built and designed. On the last page, we have included the names of all of our Kickstarter backers. So those of you who are Kickstarter backers will have a good time finding your names. And over here is the install kit. So all of the parts that you need to install your Nebia are right here. Literally everything that you need. You'll only use one of each, but we've included multiple adapters in case you have varying lengths. Also inside this box are the cleaning caps. Coming into the rest of the office, we'll start here in the machine shop where Macy is machining away. Looks like a bracket. Hey, this is Macy.
Hey.
Macy, tell us, where are you from?
I'm from Sacramento, California.
Cool. What do you work on here at Nebia?
I'm a product design engineer, and I'm mostly responsible for the shop.
Cool. Can everybody hear?
I would maybe turn up the sound.
We'll turn that off in a moment. So tell us what goes on in the workshop. Maybe you can just speak up a little bit.
Yeah, so this is our machine shop, and we do a lot of our prototyping here. So whether that's making something completely from scratch out of plastic or aluminum or something like that, or even modifying existing parts to test out a new feature like we're doing with the bracket there.
Where did you learn to use the shop so well?
I was briefly a shop TA at Stanford's Product Realization Lab, and I really loved the machines there and convinced the team here to get smaller versions of those for our prototyping.
And increasingly trying to convince us to get bigger and bigger versions. What are we having there? Maybe you can pan in.
On the left we have a drill press and a bandsaw, which we use for kind of quick fixes and things like that. And in the back with the bracket for the shower on it right now is our mill, which we use for most of our heavy-duty machining. And then we have a lathe right here as well, which we also use for things like our pipe adapter prototypes and things like that.
Cool. Alrighty. So coming into the rest of the office, this is our workshop and our wet lab, where Gabe and John are going to tell us a little bit about what they're working on. Maybe we'll start with the cycle test, which is a little bit loud. So this is John. John, where are you from?
Hi, I'm from Lebanon, but I grew up in Egypt.
Cool. What do you work on here?
So I sort of split my time between reliability testing, which is what's going on behind us here. Basically, I work very hard to undo all the hard work of the product design team and try and break the showers as quickly as possible. And I also do some work on the R&D side of things, but let's take a look at the reliability testing. So what we're trying to do here is essentially make sure that the system is as robust as possible and lasts the advertised amount of time. So this is a water circulation setup, so we can run water through the showers without wasting gallons of water because, you know, this system runs for hundreds of hours. And this here is a mechanical cycler for the wand. What it does is it actuates the button thousands of times. So that we can assess wear and tear, and there's a similar test here happening with the arm. We cycle the head up and down also tens of thousands of times, just to make sure that none of the moving parts break prematurely.
Can you turn off the
a little quieter.
So this is Gabe, one of my co-founders, our CTO and COO, and Gabe, we are going to ask you a few questions.
Sounds good.
It's been a while since you appeared live on our Facebook. I think the last time we did this, you were coming into our garage on your bike and made a very cool entrance.
Yes, I remember that. I think
Unplanned.
we've upgraded the office slightly, which is nice.
We have. So first question. What makes
Been done before. And on top of taking just this nozzle technology where the water exits, we've also built it into a very small...
Now, what is the head enclosure?
Yeah, so this is the head enclosure. It's about 1 inch tall. 10 inches in diameter, and we take all of our nozzle technology and we've compressed it into here. A lot of these nozzles were meant to be used at end of manifolds, so 2-3 feet long pipes on giant industrial equipment. We've essentially taken that, condensed the technology into this small enclosure, and also taken those nozzles and made them our own, made them applicable to showers, and made them the great experience that all our users get every day.
Cool. What is your favorite feature of Nebia and why?
That is a hard question. There's a lot of features that I really like. I think every morning when I shower, my favorite feature is actually the ability to move the shower up and down so seamlessly. So I usually listen to a podcast in the shower or kind of think about my day. And I like to be able to move the shower up and down, so when I'm lathering, it's kind of hitting me on the shoulders and from the side, and then when I'm washing my hair, it's hitting me from above. And to be able to do that without looking, without really having to think about it, is really great. From a technical point of view, I think one of my favorite features is the pressure regulator, something that we ended up designing from scratch in-house at Nebia, something that our users never see and never really realize, but makes a huge difference. So one of the things we realized while diving into showers is everyone has pretty different water pressure. And if you design a shower that encompasses everyone's water pressure, you're essentially designing for the least common denominator, and you make a pretty crappy experience. In order to overcome that, we needed to make sure that Nebia functioned really well, even if you had super high water pressure, and didn't either provide too much water or cause any sort of stinging sensation. So what we ended up doing is designing our own pressure regulator built into Nebia. As a user, you'll never really have to touch this or see this, but what it does is every stream of water that comes into Nebia gets regulated down to a specific pressure. By controlling this, we can control the experience of Nebia very precisely, meaning that if you walk into Nebia if you put Nebia in a shower at the bottom of a very tall building that has really high water pressure, you're going to get the same experience as if you install Nebia in a regular shower, kind of in the middle of that building or at the top of that building.
That's pretty cool. And this was totally built, custom built for Nebia.
Yeah.
We got a question about, can you comment on Nebia's use with a tankless water heater, pros and cons?
Yeah, I mean, a tankless water heater in general is great. It's very efficient at heating water. Nebia is designed to be used with tankless or tank water heaters. You will essentially be using less hot water than you would with a regular shower. But as long as your tankless water heater is rated to provide that amount of hot water, then you're good. If you have specific questions about your tankless water heater, you can reach out to us and we can help with that.
So last question. When we first met you, I told you we were working on a shower project.
Yeah.
You mentioned you had a special connection to showers as you had solved your master's thesis in the shower.
Yeah.
Presumably that was a very relaxing experience, and therefore that's why the ideas came to you.
Yeah.
Is showering still a relaxing experience for you?
You know, it's gone up and down. There's been some challenges that we've faced, and I get reminded of them, very obviously with prototypes in the shower. So sometimes it's not as relaxing, but in the last few months since we've started shipping and I have a newer unit, being able to just kind of close my eyes and think about the work that went into it and feel how great it is has definitely returned to a relaxing experience. It's also been really nice to have Nebia experience every day in my own shower. That relaxing steam room-like experience makes me less guilty for taking longer showers, and also helps me think about my day or about the projects that we're tackling.
I agree. Those old prototypes are really cool, but the new Nebias are way better.
Yeah.
So can you explain really quickly what your revelation was in the shower for your master's thesis?
Yeah, I was trying to cool a plate that that was in a vacuum. It was in a vacuum, and we were trying to deposit layers of atoms using atomic layer deposition onto them, but it had to be cooled, and we needed to figure out a way that would not transfer vibrations to that plate, and figured out that we could use a magnetic attachment with a braided copper wire to help dampen the vibration and still cool the plate. Yes, so that was probably more detail than Facebook really needed to know. But in short, it's a time when, at least for me, showering is still a time where you can just close your eyes and think about everything going on, and you get to kind of relax and really everything else kind of fades away. I was a little sad when phones became waterproof because now I could, in theory, bring them into the shower, but it's still really nice to have 10 or 15 minutes a day where I don't get texts or emails and kind of just think about everything.
Awesome. Thank you, man.
Absolutely.
Cool. We will carry on. This is where most of the engineering team sits. So we'll go around and have everybody introduce themselves. What does that say? A girl has no name. I just partied too hard last weekend. Okay, this is Marguerite. She lost her voice this weekend at a wedding. And we love the Game of Thrones reference. I will introduce Marguerite. She joined the team like 8 or 9 months ago. She was one of our first Kickstarter backers, which is really awesome. Because she then reached out to us when she saw that we had a job opening and joined our team. She's a product designer. It's been awesome to have her on the team. Coming over here.
Hello.
Tom, can you tell us where you're from and a little bit about yourself?
Yep. So I'm Tom Murphy. I'm from Elmhurst, Illinois, which is a Chicago suburb. I am an R&D engineer at Nebia, so I mostly focus on future Nebia products, mostly from the perspective of kind of optimizing spray to save water and also provide a great shower experience. I guess my favorite part of working here is that I can take a shower in the middle of the afternoon and it's considered work. So that's a pretty nice perk.
What were your first impressions of Nebia when you took your first Nebia showers?
So I liked how, like, what I wasn't expecting about it was like not only the warm water kind of like covering me, but also the warm air that came with the really fast moving water. It kind of created like a jet stream type feel that I wasn't really expecting. But other than that, I just like being able to stand in the shower for a while and not feel guilty that I'm wasting water because it's so water efficient.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Yeah?
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
I don't know if you can take a step back, Marie. These are not all, but many of the units that went through reliability testing, and so you can see they've been put through all sorts of stress and dismembered, and they've been Jod's toys to dismantle. But these are some of the EVT and DVT units that went through testing here. We come over here. You guys probably recognize Carlos, our other co-founder. Carlos, maybe you can tell us a little bit about where you're from.
I'm from Mexico City. I've been living there for all my life, and just for the past 2 years I have been living here in San Francisco.
Nice. So you have a shower enthusiast at home, which I think many of our viewers have met. What are her favorite parts of Nebia?
I do. She's about to turn 7, and she was in the video originally, almost 2 years ago, and she has been showered with different versions of Nebia ever since. And now the Nebia is installed in my bathroom, and she only wants to shower in Nebia, and her favorite part is the magnetic dock and the wand, and she gets to play with it and suck her little brother.
Soak her little brother.
Yeah.
How old is her little brother?
2.5.
2.5. Oh man.
Great.
Cool. This is my desk. We, some of you may have read this book. We give it a copy to everybody on their first day at Nebia. It's called Let My People Go Surfing, and it is the story of how the company Patagonia was built. Carlos and I read this story when we started Nebia, and it really inspired us to build a company that had longevity, 20, 30, 40-year horizon. And that's why we share it with everybody on their first day. Ryan, can you tell us where you're from and a little bit about yourself?
Hey guys, yeah, my name's Ryan Maxwell. I'm from New Jersey, the Garden State. I've been working at Nebia for about 4 months now. I work on business operations, which means I'm responsible for figuring out how to get a Nebia from our factory to your doorstep.
What are your favorite parts about working here?
I think my favorite part is hearing all the awesome customer feedback, and it's very validating to know that we're working on an awesome product that people love.
What were your first impressions when you showered in Nebia?
Let's see, well, My first Nebia was while I was actually interviewing to work here. So my first thought was probably, wow, this is pretty weird that I'm taking a shower during an interview.
We thought it was totally normal, by the way.
You get used to it after working here. But I think my second thought was that the Nebia is an awesome product that's going to change the way that people shower.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, Tyler. So this is Tyler. He is our customer experience manager. Some of you may hear his voice over the phone and get to know him. Now you can see his face. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from?
I'm from Oregon and originally in Seattle the last 10 years. Down in California. Yeah, love it down here. It's great.
What are your favorite parts about working here?
I think my favorite part about working here is seeing how passionate everybody is and like-minded individuals coming together to create a really interesting and different, just unique product.
Tyler is the consummate early adopter, and so he, within a few weeks of working here, got to know the product just about as well as anybody else through asking questions and observing. So he is the right guy to reach out to if you have any questions about Nebia. Macy, who you've already met, John, who you've already met. We will now come show you the rest of the office. This is our kitchen. We all eat around this table pretty much every day. And over here is a walkthrough history of our prototypes. So starting chronologically from left to right, this is like Gen 3 or Gen 4 of the prototype. These prototypes, Carlos's dad, Emilio, made in Mexico. They use half as much water as the final version of Nebia. Our first investor showered under these. These were all about conveying the experience. They were not about aesthetics. This prototype is the first one that used this perimeter idea of spray, and we got closer and closer to the final form factor, 3D printing, laser cutting, CNCing, and getting really close to what the final thing is going to look like. And then, let's see if we can. Hey, David. So this is Therme, which is a bathhouse in Greek and Roman mythology. It used to be a server closet. We turned it into our shower, so it looks like David was in there showering. We'll wait for him to come out. Yep. So this is David Schulman. David is one of our product design engineers. David, maybe you can tell everybody where you're from and what you work on here.
Yeah, sure. So I'm originally from Maryland, but Nebia gave me a great offer to be their official shower tester. So this is my office, if you want to but yeah, as Philip mentioned, I'm a product design engineer. So right now I'm working on a lot of the fluid systems, basically what gets the water from your plumbing through the Nebia and eventually out the nozzles.
What are your favorite parts about working here?
I have to say my favorite part by far is the relaxed dress code. Nebia is easily the only company that's encouraged me to be naked during the workday, and I'm using that to the fullest extent it's offered.
Oh, man.
But honestly, I really love the familiarity of the team. Like, everyone here is incredibly close. The design challenges that we see on a daily basis are constantly pushing me in ways that I had never seen before. So it's a great opportunity to grow. And the people here are amazing, and I love working here every day.
You can see that David is comfortable in front of the camera. He does a bunch of stand-up comedy.
Never like this before. This is new to me.
So you worked on a water filtration device before Nebia. Maybe you could just tell us a little bit about what that was and if there was any corollary that you saw sort of coming to work here.
Yeah, absolutely. So before this, I was working on a water purification system for developing countries. It uses electrochlorination, so you put in salt and water and you run an electric current through it, and it creates a form of bleach, which you can then use to clean contaminated water supplies. I think the biggest carryover there is the mission that we were going for with the project, which is bettering the world in some way, whether it's through making it more sustainable, which is what Nebia is doing with water conservation, or through making life better for people who don't have the same opportunities that we do here. So I think, in the same vein, really the inspiration of taking what we have here and being able to apply that in ways that make the planet better and make life better for everyone there.
Cool, thanks man. All right, now we're gonna show you guys.
When did I get my clothes?
Yeah, we're gonna show you Nebia in action, how to install and uninstall it really quickly. And then Carlos, Gabe, and I are gonna take some final questions. So, you can see the bathroom is a little bit fogged up. If you come in here and look, this is the main device, right? So it slides all the way up to there and all the way down to here. And it just holds, right? So you just go up and down and it holds its position. It pivots at an angle. If you don't want to get your hair wet, you can lower it. If you have kids or pets. And obviously the coolest part, we're pretty proud of the mechanical design and the way it works, but that just sort of sinks into the background. The experience is really what it's all about. And so this right here is Nebia in its regular mode. This is 70% less water than a regular shower. We have a strength mode or a boost mode, which is this switch up here, which turns on a totally different kind of nozzle, different droplet sizes, different velocities. And this is still about 60% water savings, but it feels a lot more powerful. If you turn on the wand and you let it spray you from the side, simultaneously it's still 50% savings. So the idea is you have the wand on and you let it spray you from the side, and you can take it off and use it as a hand shower, or you can position it at different angles. So we made this so you can position it at different angles in case you have shelves or things in the way, to accommodate also for people of different heights who use the same shower. Now I'm going to show you really quickly the install process. First, I'm going to uninstall it. So we give you this key in the box, which has a few levers on it. And here you can release. There's a slot on top. And now it's off the wall. And the hose is off. So the first step you need to do is unscrew your shower head. So most shower heads come out of the wall with a pipe that has a 45-degree angle. In like 90% of cases, you can take those off just with your hand. You unscrew it, counterclockwise, you might need a wrench, it comes off really easily. Then you have a hole in your wall with a pipe on the other side. You use this key to stick it in the hole, and that measures the depth of your water output. We then gave you 4 adapters. I don't know if you guys remember that from the video. You select the right one, wrap some Teflon tape, wrap on this collar, and you use this same tool as your wrench. Then, the last step is this bracket retainer will come pre-mounted here with a 2-sided tape. You peel the 2-sided tape. You stick in right here, so you hear the click. Then on your first install, you'll just line it up, make sure it's straight, push. This dock, magnetic dock, also goes on the wall with a 2-sided tape. It's called a VHB, which stands for Very High Bond Adhesive. That stuff, if you let it dry for 20 minutes, isn't going anywhere. It's the type of stuff that keeps bumpers on cars. And then the final step is you just click in the hose, and there it goes. And it works again. We can turn on water. You can see it's really easy. This is what we've gotten the most comments on from people who have received their Nebias. We've already shipped about 1,000 of them.
How is it to install it in a new apartment?
Yeah, you saw how easy it was to take off. And we encourage people to keep that small box with all the parts so that they can just unclip it, take it with them. You know, this is all you do. And then they just sort of unscrew these parts and do it again. The whole idea was we didn't want people to have to break any tile to install it, because then you got to call a plumber, and that sets you back another couple $100, and you break some tile. We want people to be able to upgrade their bathroom without having to spend thousands of dollars in a brand new remodel. And this achieves that, right? So people can now have their own shower system and not just a shower head at a much more accessible cost. So yeah, this is it. This is where we get people to come shower pretty much every day. Investors, backers, friends, pretty much every day. All right. So now we will wrap up by taking a few questions. Gabe and Carlos have been reading your Q&As, and they are going to field some of those questions. So you guys can repeat the question and take it away.
Somebody asked if so much mist is going to affect the next protect.
So we've never had a fire alarm go off because Of Nebia, I can't speak specifically for the Nest Protect, but we have not had any fire alarms go off or smoke detectors go off because of the Nebia mist.
What else? Let me pull out the questions.
Yeah.
Marie, do you have any questions there?
Just
We answered a bunch with the installation now.
Yeah.
It is as easy as Philip just showed. We spent a lot of time designing and working on that.
what's the distance of the shower head from the wall?
The center of the shower head, I believe, is 21 inches. And the shower head is a 10-inch diameter, so at most, it is 26 inches from the wall.
We got another question from Randy. Steam room-like experience. Does Nebia result in an increased amount of humidity in the bathroom? Increased bathroom humidity doesn't bode well with my girlfriend's hair ritual.
Good question. We get that one a lot. I mean, we create a steam shower-like experience. And so the ideal setting for Nebia is an enclosed stall. And it definitely will increase the humidity level. We have found in most cases if you lower the shower to shoulder height, as I showed you, and you put it at an angle, and you put your hair up, you can keep it from getting wet. It depends a little bit on how closed your bathroom is. I mean, the humidity definitely increases, so it also depends on how long you're in there. It really sort of depends on the particular setting. We think there are definitely solutions that you can find to make it work.
What's the most surprising feedback that you've heard from the first couple backers who have received their Nebia?
The most surprising feedback. You know, we have tested this with like thousands of people literally showered. So there hasn't been anything that's caught us off guard. We did get a tweet the other day, which became a conversation of tweets, which was really, really funny. I'll pull it up here and read it. Carl Downing, this was last week, tweeted, unfortunately, Nebia's immense water savings are offset by my desire to spend the rest of my life in the shower. And then Randy Alexander asked him a bunch of questions, to which Carl responded, I think you'll be really, in all caps, happy with it. I test a lot of products and sweat the little details, but the Nebia has been flawless. So it's when we get comments like these that we get super excited. We got another one over the weekend. This one was from David Allen, and he wrote, I was curious about how much water I would save with a typical shower. My shower is a full-size tub with a curtain enclosure. I think, like most people, I have a routine down pat for how I like to take a shower, and I've timed them before. So I took a shower with my old shower head. I plugged a drain in the tub so that water wouldn't drain away while I showered. It was almost a foot deep when I finished. A few days after installing my Nebia shower system, I repeated the test. When I finished a very luxurious Nebia shower, there was only about 3 inches of water in the tub. We love seeing that. So, I mean, that's why we're doing this, right? For people to love this experience and to save a lot of water. This is the beginning of what we're working on. We think the shower is a very important part of people's daily rituals. And if we can make a better experience there and save a lot of water, then our company really is sort of fulfilling our mission and what we're going after. Everybody showers for the most part every day. It is one of those few things that you can take an action on and say, hey, I'm going to be a more conscious citizen and member of the planet, but not necessarily sacrifice. And so our goal is to make this affordable and accessible to all corners of the world over time. Right now, it's certainly a premium product. We have done that in order to just build the best experience we possibly can, and leverage that as a way to grow the company and to grow the reach and the mission of the company.
Do you have any plans to add more colors, and is it made of aluminium? If so, can I have it in anodized aluminium?
You know, there are plans to continue to develop Nebia. Colors are something we've discussed. No firm plans yet. It is aluminum and it is anodized aluminum. So you already have that opportunity. If you buy one, it will be bead blasted in anodized aluminum.
Okay, let me see.
Cool. One more question.
Okay. Do you think you could apply the Nebia system to grow plants? Of course with cold water, using less water but offer good moisture for the plants. They deserve a great experience too.
Yeah, we actually have looked a lot at agriculture as as a way of taking technology from that industry already and seeing how it can be applied other places, specifically to showers. There's actually a lot of really good atomized technology in the agriculture industry. It's mainly for larger farms and larger indoor grow areas. It really hasn't been taken to the consumer level, but there is already a lot of really good technology there.
Cool.
Last question. Do you love your Mexican backers?
We love it very much. One final plug. We are going to be increasing the price to $699 over the course of the next few months. Right now it's $399. Tomorrow is the last day to get hold of that price, tomorrow midnight. So if you guys want to get your Nebia, now is the best time to do it. Remember, you can always wait till you get it, try it. If you want to return it, you have a 30-day, no questions asked, return policy. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Please stay engaged with us. Tweet at us, send us Facebook messages, Instagram messages. For those of you who are backers and have received your product, please reach out to us. We love seeing pictures of what Nebia looks like in your home. So thanks again for everybody for tuning in, and we hope you have a good day.